think you guys are gonna like this video. So this is the cmmg MKW15, chambered in the massive 458 Socom. Now, I had one of these years ago, but it was on consignment and I had to send it back and I always regretted it. Well, this one is mine. All right, let's pretend for a few seconds you're not familiar with the 458 Socom. Here's a real quick size comparison for you. This is the NATO 556, commonly called the 223. This is the 458 Socom. There are some really cool rounds for this 458 Socom. Right here is just a full metal jacket, 300 grain. Here is one of those Lehigh Defense Extreme Penetrators. I think this one's 350 grain. And then Black Butterfly has some sick ammo for this. This particular one is 350 grain subsonic and is called the Buzzsaw. When this thing hits, the pedals open up massive. I'll roll in a picture of it right here so you can see, but this thing is gnarly. So today we're gonna do two things. I'm gonna shoot some ballistics gel just to show you the power of the 458 Socom, and then we're gonna shoot some Tannerite and see if it'll light it off. Now, notoriously, Tannerite needs a round that is 2,000 feet per second or higher. So I don't know if it's gonna work, but on their website, it also says that bigger bore bullets have a better chance of lighting off the Tannerite. So first, let's do that ballistics test with the gel, and then we'll move to the Tannerite. Now, another beautiful thing about the 458 Socom is it works in your standard AR-15 pattern magazines, although cmmg has partnered with Lancer to produce these that they say work a little bit better. I don't know, I've never had problems with them, but you can slap these in any AR-15 pattern magazine and run it. All right, so it looks like what happened is the board was sitting like this. That round entered the gel block, went down, came out the back, and actually hit the wood right here and blew this chunk off the back. What I don't really know how to explain is this chunk right here. And obviously the crack. I mean, that was an enormous amount of pressure, but the bullet went in. You can see where it kind of skidded the wood and blew this chunk off the back. But something also blew this off. All right, for those of you who aren't familiar, Tannerite is what they call a binary explosive. So it's not explosive in terms of fireballs. It just puts out a big percussion, makes a big bang. It's really fun to shoot. It's legal. You can buy it at Cabela's, all right? This right here, I think this is either a half or a quarter pound. I can't remember what it is. We're gonna shoot this with a 5.56 just to show you what Tannerite should do. I'm gonna shoot a 2-pound jar, about this big, with the 458 Socom and see what that does. All right, there's what Tannerite looks like. Now, you can see it's all these kind of white little pebbles, and there's this gray powder that you pour in here. Now, this stuff is inert until you mix these two together, and even then, once you shake it up, everything turns gray. It can only be set off by a projectile traveling over 2,000 feet per second. The 458 Socom I'm about to shoot, it's the fastest one that I have. It's 1,800 feet per second. My hope is that that additional mass will help set this off. Woo! That was a little bit better. All right, so I'm actually really pleasantly surprised. I wasn't sure because everything on their website says it has to be 2,000 feet per second. And I was like, man, with all that extra mass, that 300 grain projectile, surely that's enough to set that off. And it did, man, that was pretty cool. That's the first time I've ever set off one of the 2-pound jugs. So I was happy that it didn't just pop and dump all over the ground. Pretty cool. So again, this is the MKW15 chambered in 458 Socom. A lot of guys might ask, Well, what's the purpose of this round? Well, bear hunting, for protection from bears, maybe not necessarily bear hunting because that's probably done at longer distances. Hog hunting, certainly. I did take my previous one on a hog hunt. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get anything, but I did take a previous one on a hog hunt, and devastating round, man. So many different variations of ammo. Big thanks to Black Butterfly for supplying some of that. Check them out. Obviously, I can't post a link in the description below to where to get this. CMMG, guys. You know them, you love them. Check them out. Thanks for watching, guys. If you like this video, do me a favor. Give it a like down below. I've got lots more content to come, and I'll see you in the next one.